We're muted. Hi, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay.
That was a horrible question.
That's a dumb question. How am I doing? Just fantastic, dude.
Yeah.
Welcome, everybody. We have a special tonight. We're going to talk about a few big changes in my life tonight. It's going to be crazy. There will be tears. So get your tissues. It's not going to be an easy conversation. Do you want to say hello? My daughter did just get home and she'd like to say hello.
Hi, Aurora.
This is my baby. So she wanted to pop in here, say hi, all that fun stuff. It's been a while since when was our last show? June or May?
Oh, I don't remember.
It's been a minute.
It has.
It's been a minute. Let me just double check. Are you going back to your... I'm going to shut this door if you're going good in there. Okay. I'm going to shut this door. Hold on. Hey, take your pup, please. Thank you. All right. Sorry, guys. Yeah, she just popped in as soon as I was getting ready to go live. Hello, Jeremy.
Hey, Jeremy.
Okay. So if you haven't been following me on Facebook, that's where I've been posting most updates in my personal life currently. I did make a post yesterday or the day before on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, but I generally don't post there about personal stuff as often. Facebook's where most of my friends is on my personal Facebook page. So welcome. You from Canada. You also lost a child at 25, and it's shit. Yep, it is shit.
Yes.
That's funny you say that, because so what we're going to talk about is a little bit about my experience in losing my child, who was 19, and literally I've had the conversation with my son since his passing. I've literally said, Aiden, this is bullshit. So it's funny you say that. It's shit. Because I've literally said this is bullshit. Hey, Scarlett.
Hi, other sister.
So let me give you guys a little... Yes, sister. Let me give you guys a little bit of background. If you don't know me, I'm a mother of two. One you just seen. The other one is 19 years old. And on July 19th, sadly, he passed away in an automobile accident while he was on his way to work. The investigation itself is still, or the accident itself is still under investigation with the Indiana State Police to figure out why, the hows, and all that to the accident. Who's at fault, who's not at fault, what all transpired. So if you didn't know, that's what happened in a nutshell. When I got the news, the accident happened about 5:30 in the morning, 5:45 in the morning. My son has actually been living with me for the past month and a half. He moved back home because adulting sucks. And I said, look, you don't need to be stressing out at 19. Come home. Like, you're more than welcome to come home. And, you know, I welcome my kids any day in my home, and they know that. So, Brad, you okay there?
We're good. My feet came off my light, so.
Okay. So I welcomed back in my home after he had been living on his own since July of last year. So he did get a feel of adulthood. It kind of sucks. And I told him it sucks. It's not easy. It's expensive. It just sucks, especially because my son wanted to live by himself. He preferred to be by himself. He enjoys his personal space, and I respect that. So, so he'd been living with me, and he went off to work that morning. I got the phone call about 8:15, shortly after I arrived to work that day. And everything was a blur from that point on. I was actually on the call with a client, and I looked down and I seen a restricted call was coming through. And sadly, from the past, I know restricted calls can be like really important calls, say from like sheriff's department, whatever it could be.
Mm-hmm.
So I pick up the phone and I tell my client I need to put you on hold. And I can't, we have a new phone system. I could not figure out how to put this person on hold. So I just set the headset down. And I have a recommendation for the sheriff of Wells County, Indiana. You need to figure out how the fuck to give bad news instead of just being like, I'm just going to tell you straight up. Okay? Look at me holding the phone like this. That's not how we hold our phones anymore. I'm a millennial. Y'all figured it out. I literally took his phone and he starts talking and he's like, is this Clarissa? Blah, blah. And I was like, yes, it is. And he's like, I was like, who's this in regards to? I could just tell by the tone of his voice something was wrong. I was like, who's this in regards to? And I was like, is it Aiden? He's like, yes. And I said, hold on. And I told him, hold on, like 4 or 5 different times. I like walked over to the storage room that was near me and I'm like, wait. I can't do this. Because you could feel it. I could feel like what he was about to say. And literally he goes to start saying that Aiden was in an automobile. I said, hold on. And I get into my manager's office, who actually is a good friend of mine, Amber. And he drops the bombshell on me. Like, dude, learn to fucking give bad news. You don't just need to throw it on people like that. You need to respect that they may be at work. Brad, you MIA. There you go. You're back. You're back. You're good. It just went black on your screen.
Am I good? My mom just tried to call in for some reason.
Oh, okay. Well, you're good now. So, I get the news and I just start crying and screaming. Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? I hit the ground. I hand the phone over to my boss. Like, this isn't true. This is like pure denial. And everybody, it's got to be you, dude. Can anybody else hear me? It's probably because somebody's calling in the background. Anybody else that's watching,
can you kick me out and bring me back in?
Yeah. Kick you out completely?
I can't hear you.
Oh my god. It's got to be his phone. Hold on. I'm good, thank you. Brad, just exit out yourself, dude. Because if I kick you, it's not going to let you back in. Let's see. Hi. Let me text him. All right. So when they say, like, when they tell you, like, you get crippling news, it is no fucking joke. I have never in my life gotten crippling news in my life until that phone call came in. I literally dropped. And it was disbelief, pure disbelief, and I just didn't believe it, and I was, sorry guys, tears. I told you they were going to happen today. So my boss is like, oh my god, because she and my son actually share a birthday. We call them birthday buddies, and like she's known Aiden for a couple years, and like she's known my daughter, she's known my family. Like, she's like, oh my god, I can't believe this. Like, she's like, okay, like talking to the sheriff, she's like, we got to get Clarissa back home because my daughter was home and the sheriff had actually come to my house and I wasn't here, and so he talked to my neighbors trying to figure out where it was. But they finally got a hold of me. So my office manager and my boss actually went ahead and drove me home. And hey, welcome back. I'm just telling the story, so you've already heard most of this. I had called a couple family members in that time. I could not tell you who I called, what I said, any of that. I don't remember. The drive to and from the office is about 40 minutes for me. I don't remember any of the drive. I don't remember half the stuff that happened that day. Literally the day of when I got the news, it's like gone out of my brain. I can't remember like anything from that day other than my son is gone. I had to come home and I had to tell my 12-year-old daughter. That was really hard, but I didn't want anybody else telling her. I wanted to be the person to tell her. That was really hard. We cried, we hugged, it was really hard. And I had talked to Aiden the night before, Thursday night, because like I said, he lives with me. And unfortunately, I mean, it was just a casual conversation. There was nothing bad about the conversation. It was just like, hey, you want to do me a favor, blah, blah, love you, bye, good night, and that was that. So it's not like there was any indication anything like this was ever going to happen, but it did. So that was getting the news. The news was, oh my God, like, I don't wish anything like this ever on anybody, because it is the worst possible thing to lose one of your children. Like, it is a nightmare that has just not gone away. The first few days were pure blur. I was blessed with so many awesome friends. Brad stepped in. I said, because we're working on prepping for the show starting in August to come back. And my sister says, I called her and I said, get to my house now, then repeated, it's Aiden several times. Yeah. I
will never forget the call when you called me. So
yeah, I couldn't tell you, but Brad stepped in because we were working on trying to get the show started. We're gathering up people for interviewing for the show coming up. It starts August 14th, and yes, the show will start August 14th. I have to keep doing stuff. That's one of my coping mechanisms, is to keep moving forward, keep doing stuff.
Yep.
But Brad stepped in, my sister stepped in, because people wanted to talk to me. People wanted to come over. I was overwhelmed. Like, I didn't want a bunch of people showing up at my house. I didn't want a bunch of people asking questions. I didn't want a bunch of people being like all up in my space when I'm sitting here like in pure fog and disbelief and like shock. She stepped in, huge thanks to her. My buddy Sean came all the way from New Jersey to stay with me for the first couple days because I was a mess. I didn't want to eat. I didn't want to sleep. I didn't want to do nothing. Luckily, I've kind of gotten back into taking care of myself a little bit. Yesterday, it's been 12 days, guys. Yesterday was the first day I actually cooked since his passing. Wow. I've been door dashing and eating out to feed, like, because I have another kid, I have to try to keep things as normal as possible. But yesterday I actually cooked something, and I'm like, that's a step. I'm finally like doing something that's normal that I need to do. I need to come home and I need to cook for my other child,
Mm-hmm.
And it's like little things like that you don't realize how they're going to impact you. So first few days was awful. The first night by myself was pretty bad. Now, I have one benefit over some other grieving people. I actually do fall asleep fairly quickly at night because I have a back condition in which I am prescribed muscle relaxers. Otherwise, I suffer from really bad night cramps and all that. So luckily, falling asleep at night has not been so hard for me because of that. I have that option to treat my back and also help me. It also helps me sleep. So
I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's crazy. Another thing that as a medium, because we want to talk about the mediumship side, is I'm a vivid dreamer. I'm a very, very vivid dreamer. And Brent knows this. If you read any of my blogs on my website, you'll see I dream vividly quite a bit. I actually should probably blog just about daily. I don't, but I probably could. Just about every stinking night I dream and I remember my dreams. The strange thing that happened when when the first couple days this was going on is I couldn't remember anything. No dream at all. I'd sleep all night. I'd wake up and I have no idea what I dreamt about. No idea. Love you too, Vera. No idea. And that's very, very weird for me. to dream and just not know what I dreamt about.
Mm-hmm.
It was a couple days in, probably about 5-6 days in, when I started remembering my dreams again. So I think it's just from the shock of things, just from, just everything. My mind was just so shut down, and, so it kind of put me a huge block on me and who I am. So dreaming had changed. Now, I had posted a little bit about it on Facebook. Again, if you don't follow me on Facebook, that's where you're going to get more of my personal stuff, posts and stuff. TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, I always have to make a video or something like that, so it's not as easy. Facebook stuff, I can just do whatever I can do.
Right.
Post, I can do a video, I can do a photo, I can do whatever. So that's why the content's not spread out as evenly. But definitely follow me on Facebook, either on the Unveil Paranormal page, or you can follow me or friend me on Clarissa Unveiled. Either way is fine. But I did mention on my Facebook how I dreamt about Aiden coming in and tattling on his sister. I was like awake, asleep. I don't know what I was. I was something, and I felt like it was like 3 a.m. Like, that's what I was thinking. It was like 3 a.m. And Aiden comes in the room, and he's just like, Mom. And I was like, what? And like, he was waking me up, and he's like, Aurora's still up. And I'm like, well, tell her to go to bed. It's late, And so he's like, okay. And he literally, like, it's like he just walked out the room and went to go tell her that it's late. She needs to go to bed. And I asked my daughter the next day, just for clarification. Just can't say certain things on Facebook. I thought, I don't know. Yeah, probably. Facebook is kind of like that, but yeah. I asked her, she said, no, I went to bed sooner than that. And I was like, okay. But it was just funny to me. Like,
he's still looking out for her. And
like,
still going to tattle on her.
My kids have like a 6.5, 7 year age difference. And it's so funny if like he literally is coming in to be like tattling on her, even after life, So
I could see him doing that.
Yeah. So just that. So another thing I wanted to talk about, is the funeral. Just to mention a little bit about that. Aiden's funeral was this past Sunday. By the way, thank you everybody who came in the paranormal. Even my paranormal buddies were there. Some of you guys I've built good, strong friendships with beyond just paranormal came to support us, and like, thank you. I was really excited to see a lot of you there, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I get to see you. It's sad why you're there, but I get to see you beyond just paranormal. And I think building friendships beyond just the paranormal is so important, because as an adult, we don't get to build friendships very often.
No, we don't.
We have work friends, we have hobby friends, like somebody we go bowling, like Jeremy Bowles. He has bowling friends. Like, we have paranormal friends. Well, why not? If the, I guess, connection is there, why not build off of those paranormal friends and make it more of a family, more of a, close-knit thing where we talk about our personal thing? Because
I've done that with a lot of my paranormal friends.
That's the thing. Friends. Some of the people, yes, friendship is right. Like, some of the people, we don't talk about our personal lives. We don't know that they have kids. We don't know that they're married. We don't know like their life stories. We just know what we know from being with them. Jeremy says the best thing about having paranormal friends is we talk about anything and everything but the paranormal. Yep. Hey, Linda. Yep. And Jeremy, that's true. Jeremy, Brad, I mean, you guys are some of the people that I've connected with on a more personal level. We've not only built friendships paranormal based, but we've built it beyond that. Yeah, we're not just talking spooky all the time.
Like, we go to the casino occasionally together, just on a whim. So
yeah, we do. Yep. Brad's very lucky too, by the way. I like taking him to the casino. He is very lucky.
Last time wasn't too great, but in the past it has been.
No, last time wasn't. That's okay. We'll go again.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on the bucket list. Another cool thing about my son's funeral is my son, if you didn't know, he was on his way to work the day of the accident. Chris Thurman says, "Brad, you're back."
Yes, this is my new account too, by the way.
Yes.
I do have a new Facebook account.
Yep. Jeremy, I'm reading these to Brad because he can't see the screen very well because he's on his cell phone. Jeremy says, "I would get to yell at Clarissa now and then about certain things." Yep. Kelly says, "People take others for granted. Communication is so easy and yet so many find." Yep, that's true. That's true. So one thing about my son's funeral, because I want to talk a little bit more about that. My son, before he passed away, he was actually on his way to work. Sadly, my son actually volunteered that day. He didn't have to work that day. But my son, thankfully, I've taught my kids to work, right? So my kids work, right? That's not an issue. Aiden actually got his first job when he was 14 as a dishwasher. Okay, my boy worked. And unfortunately, he volunteered that day. And when he volunteered, he was on his way to the job site. And that's, when the accident happened. But one cool thing about his job is they stepped up huge to help our family. My son is part of a union. He was doing flagging for one of the local construction companies around here, and they have helped a ton. I mean, more than I could imagine. And they showed up to my son's funeral with their work trucks. They turned on all their lights and just had it sitting in the parking lot with the lights on. They lit up the parking lot purposely.
They did for sure.
For him. Brad thought there was construction going on.
Yeah.
A couple people asked me that.
Yeah, because I got there.
If there was like construction going, I said nope. I said those.
Yeah,
lights
I was there early, so I actually got to see all
the
trucks pull in. So that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they handed me a vest, and it made me cry. Sorry, guys. They handed me a vest and a helmet they all signed. And they handed it to me oh my, as if they were handing me an American flag, like my son was a soldier. And my son had only been there maybe 6 months, and they still treated him as if he was family. And they handed that to me, and I just cried because I'm like, oh my gosh, it's oh. So such a good blessing. The union and the company have been awesome to us. So I can't thank them enough. So thank you. It's been awesome. So Aiden's funeral was a beautiful funeral. I wrote up my own eulogy. I read it. Had a couple other people speak. Very informal, because I am not of Christian faith or any Catholic or anything like that. I'm a medium, and I believe in natural things like nature, connection with earth, stuff like that. So I don't really identify with any specific religion except for one I'm kind of concocting myself. But it's basically a belief in the universe and all that. So it's what I believe in. Which we're going to talk about religion because that's been fun. So my religious belief, I'm going to tell you guys, has probably helped a ton on dealing with his death. Here's the thing. I don't necessarily believe in my son passing away and he's got he doesn't have a choice. I don't believe in that. He is pushed to heaven. He is pushed to hell. Honestly, I feel like spirit leaves earth when they're ready. Okay. And I'm probably leaning more towards reincarnation as opposed to going to, I do feel like there's different places people can go temporarily, but I do lean more towards reincarnation because I myself feel like I've lived a lot. Yep. I'm kind of over it. I'm exhausted. After this one, I'm taking a break. That's what I'm saying.
I agree with you. That I believe reincarnation and past lives are definitely a thing. So,
So, spiritually speaking, I feel like my son's home. We have felt him. My daughter has swore she's seen him. The best feeling I've had since this has happened is the day I got to bring his bird home. I literally was holding it like a baby, and I was like, I get to bring my boy home. Now some people were like, are you sure you want to have his ashes at your house? Like, isn't that going to scare your 12-year-old? Like, we have my mom's ashes. Okay. I literally feel like I'm starting to collect at my house, and I don't like it. Okay, I have my mom, then I have my son now, and I'm like, this is not okay. This is not what I want. I wasn't even supposed to have my mom. My brother was, but he's too scared. He's afraid she's gonna stalk him, which I was like, it doesn't matter. She's gonna watch you anyways. You're her baby.
Right.
But it felt so good to have him home. It felt so good to bring him here. Just it's it's in a way, the idea of his spirit lingering here is soothing. In a way, it's kind of scary, because, and I had this little paranoia with my mom too when she first passed. It's a paranoia. It's not that it's logical or anything. It's just my human mind thinking. If you know anything about my beliefs, I believe we have a human mind and then we have a spiritual mind, and it's just two different things. Mm-hmm. So my human mind is being paranoid. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to walk around the corner in the kitchen, and there he's going to just be standing there. And I'm going to freak out, right? Like, that's my human mind. Mm-hmm. Like, my spiritual mind's like, I'm going to walk in there and it's going to be perfectly fine. But if he's there, I'm going to feel him. Because I'm more of a mental medium where I envision things as opposed to physically seeing them. So my visions are much more comforting than when I'm at like a haunted location and we see the stuff. That creeps me out a little bit. Mm-hmm. Because that's something I did not envision. It's there. It's not tangible, but it's there.
Right. It's more of you can like feel it. You can feel the energy there.
So actual apparitions kind of creep me out. I'm just saying. They actually kind of creep me out. But to know the energy there and feel his energy, I'm okay with that. So I've been a little paranoid, especially in the evenings. My daughter thinks that it's early mornings are the scary time. I'm like, well, you're supposed to be asleep anyways, so why are you even up?
Right.
But that's all right. But that's kind of what it's like when you're a medium. When you're a medium and you're already connecting with a loved one for somebody. I'm opening that door. That was weird. I just seen somebody, like, I had the door cracked and somebody just went, I had the door cracked, and I swore I seen somebody just walk by. So I'm opening the door all the way. This is what I'm talking about. When I'm not prepared, when I'm not feeling it, when I'm like distracted elsewhere, and then an apparition or something pops up, that's when I start freaking out. Because I like to be prepared. That was not okay.
Your house has always been somewhat active anyway, too. So
I know. That was weird. Okay. Where was I? What was I saying again? Oh my gosh. Talking about mediumship. Okay, so like connecting with other people's loved ones, very different than connecting with my own loved one. To answer your questions, no, I have not done spirit box sessions or any type of paranormal investigating since his passing. I probably won't for a little while. I don't think that's wise. I have a video that I actually never shared. I intended to share, but I never did. When my mom passed in 2021, I went to her house. She died in her bed at her house, and we did a spirit session in her bedroom, and I kid you not, this was the first experience I had where I felt as if my mom's spirit was being protected by something pure, which is weird. It's very rare for me to say something's pure or something's 100% evil. But when I tried to talk to my mom's spirit, I was being blocked by something good and pure. And so I had this whole thought then, oh my God, is there heaven? Is there hell? Like maybe I'm crazy. Like maybe there really is this. I don't know. That's what's so interesting about death and, the spirit world and beyond spirit is like, nobody really has tangible evidence of really much of any of it.
Right.
And my obsession with death came when I experienced death from my grandfather passing when I was 8. And it's because I'm a person who wants answers. I want to know definitively what's fact, what's not. And if I can't get that, it is going to consume me and make me constantly want to learn. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Linda. Linda says she loves my blanket.
Yep.
I think I got this at
Burlington is what you told me.
And it's out now, so it's with their spooky stuff. So definitely, I love it too. So yeah, I mean, when it comes to religion, I think that's helped me a lot on my personal beliefs. I've always paid attention to animals, birds, bees, bugs, all that stuff, just to kind of give me confirmation of life changes coming up or spirits visiting, all that stuff. And it's just, I have some books on some of it, like I have Native American books and stuff like that, because Native American religious belief system is kind of, I'm really drawn to that, but it's like a mix of that, a mix of Wiccan, a mix of pagan, like I'm just blending religions over here. I'm making my own little concoction.
You're making your own.
Yeah. So that's just kind of, I like to believe in what I experience and not what I'm told. And that's kind of how my mediumship is. I base it off of my experience and not what people tell me it is. That's why anytime I've ever taught people, because I've had people come to me and say, Clarissa, how do you know when you're talking to the deceased? And I say to them, you're going to know. Like, you're going to know. You're not going to get, nothing is set in stone when it comes, when it comes to mediumship, there is no set rule book. Okay.
Right.
Every person that has a gift or the ability to connect with the spirit world has their own way of doing it. And that's why anytime somebody comes to me, I give them ideas, but I want them to do what works for them, not what works for me.
Yeah, I actually had someone this week ask me to help them increase their abilities. I'm like, well, I can help, but you actually have to get out there and use them to increase them. So yes. That's kind of what I told her. So
if you don't use it, you don't necessarily lose it, but you're not going to be as good as it.
Yeah, I definitely turned mine off for a long time. So
you have to actively be paying attention to yourself and your surroundings. And another thing that I teach, if I ever talk about it, like I don't teach anything professionally, like I'm no professional, right? I just do this as a self-taught medium. It's good to know as much science as you can, not just including like sciences as in EMF and crap like that. Sciences as in social economic sciences, or science as in psychology, like those sciences where you study people and because my bachelor's degree that I got is in psych, and it has helped me a ton, taking away some of the stuff that's like, I don't know if that's really paranormal, or if, it's something else.
Right.
It's something that science can prove, not just scientific, like biology, scientific, like that stuff. It's scientific mental health, scientific, social, all that. So it's good to know as much as you can if you are a medium. It's better to be knowledgeable as a medium than it is to not be. Because if you're not working on yourself and learning as much as you can, your goal should be to always debunk it. And then you can say when you have those real experiences, they were real. Because right. You know you cannot debunk it. Because you're smart enough to know it cannot be debunked. So just for food for thought. There's one big thing I did want to talk about with religion, Brad.
Okay. I know what it is, so.
I have bitched about this. I'm just going to say it straight up about religion. I just want to say this. If you are of faith, a Christian faith base, or whatever faith base, which Christianity is the most popular where I live, do not look at somebody who tragically lost their 19-year-old child and tell them it is in God's fucking plans. I swear, my neighbor, who currently has been diagnosed with dementia, so let's give him some grace, and part of his dementia doesn't have to do with memory, it has to do with judgment. His wife has made me aware of this, all that stuff. But he's a very religious man, and he's very well of what I do, because I know he's mentioned it in his blah-ness. And do not look at me and tell me that it is in God's plan that my son died in a car accident at the age of 19. Do not tell me that. I was not directly told this. My friend Sean was told it. He told me about it, and I about lost my shit and went over that fence. I was pissed. Because here's my thing, guys. I get it. Some people believe and God has a plan for all of us, blah, blah, blah. But what about Aiden's plans? What about my plans? What about our life plans? Why does it have to be God's plan? Okay.
Right.
Like, I'm going to lose viewers for this, but I'm going to tell you, do not fucking tell me it's in God's plan. Don't. I actually lost it, and I told my friend right then and there, I said no. I said, well, I could tell you one damn thing. This isn't the universe's plan, because the universe would not do me like this.
Right.
And that's going to probably piss some people off, because I will say God would do this to a family before the universe would. Sorry, hate me for it. If the religious belief is that whatever we go through life is within God's plan, that means God is saying, I'm going to make you go through tragedy, and there's going to be a reason for it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think I want to believe in somebody who's going to put my 19-year-old through death just to make me learn a fucking lesson? No. So when I say this, guys, I have completely lost all faith in Christianity and other similar religious beliefs, if that is the belief system, okay? I could be completely wrong, but based off of what my neighbor said to me, I interpret it as God's going to kill your kids and you're going to learn from it. That's what I interpreted. So that is my 2 cents on it. I hate going outside now because my neighbor like harasses me. Not intentionally. Again, let's give him grace. He has dementia, and it's a judgment one, okay? Mm-hmm. But literally when I get out of my car, the first thing you do is start spewing your freaking Bible verses at me. I'm sorry. Like, I am trying to go about my damn business, go to all these freaking appointments I have to deal with, all this other crap I got to deal with for my son before I return back to normal. The last thing I want you to do is spew in that shit at me.
And let's be honest, he did it before it happened too.
He did.
It wasn't. It hasn't just started since this happened. It happened before.
Yes. Last year I posted on Facebook about how my neighbor had tore down my Halloween decorations. It's because he was possessed by the devil. And I'm not making, or that demon, I'm not making fun of him. Okay, it's legitimate if you really feel like you're possessed by a demon. That's a legit feeling. I can't confirm it. I can't deny it. I do know a couple things. 1, you have dementia. And 2, I don't know your mental health status. So I can't confirm that, yes, that is what's really going on in your life. But you don't tear down my shit and you don't spew Bible verses at me.
So everybody take notes.
Show Lucifer. Oh, she mentioned the show Lucifer. Have you ever looked at the guy on the show Lucifer? Oh my God.
Yeah, I've seen the show.
God's plan, and Lucifer says that doesn't mean it's a good plan. Oh, I love that. Debbie says on the show Lucifer, if someone said God's plan, Lucifer says it doesn't mean it's a good plan. I love that, because I don't want to bash anybody. Like, somebody could tell me, like, you know, you can believe in whatever you want, guys. You're welcome to believe in whatever you want. I respect you. If you want to send prayers my way, it's no different than sending me blessings. It's the same thing in my mind. They add up. Most religions are the same thing. We're just using different words. Okay? Plain and simple. But my universe, in my opinion, would never do this to my child.
Right.
They would have never put me through hard times. Because when you're right with the universe, your life goes right, in my opinion. When you make stupid mistakes, you act stupid, the universe sees that and they're like, well, duh, of course this happened because of this. To me, that's how the universe works. It's not, I'm going to make sure this happens to you. You were told the same thing when you lost your baby girl and your mom, and that's when you lost it. Yeah. It's, you just don't say that. Like, again, what about Aiden's plans? You know? Yeah. They don't matter.
I struggle to even, like, say anything to you. Like, when I, through all of this, it's like, I don't even know what to say, what to do. It's like, I definitely wouldn't say something like that.
Yeah. I don't know what to say to you is a phrase I've heard a lot.
Yeah.
Since
I know I've said it a lot to you.
And guys,
it's true.
And you're not the only one. I don't know what to say. Is there anything that needs to be said? You know, give me a hug, tell me you're thinking of us, and that's all you gotta do. Like, I shared the donation stuff on this and all that. And, like, you don't have to donate. Just show your support and your love. Like, you know, that's just there because, you know, monetary is monetary. It means nothing. It's to help me get by. Till I return back to normal, which is something we're going to talk about, returning back to normal. Speaking of, shall we talk about returning back to normal?
Sure.
So, I have a day job, a boring ass day job. I actually like it for the most part. And I gotta pay bills. So I'm planning on returning back to normal, turning back to work starting tomorrow. I've been out for almost 2 weeks. My daughter is starting school back tomorrow. She is a K-12 student, so she does online schooling. It is not fair, in my opinion, for me to make her start school up and me not go back to work. Is it going to be fucking hard as hell? Yeah. I am graciously able to work from home temporarily, which we work from home. We're hybrid. I do hybrid work, so we work from home and the office. But I will be working from home because literally my paperwork I would rather have a mental health breakdown at home in the privacy of my home instead of at the office.
Right. You going back to the office sounds scary to me just because that's where you learned of where it happened.
Right. But I crossed that bridge already. I went and got my laptop.
And I was very happy that you did.
I did. I made it a point to go back to the office before I returned to work because I know myself. I know I'm going to be triggered. So if I get through that hurdle now, I won't have to stress about it later. That's why I'm doing a show 12 days after my son's passing. It is better for me to talk about it than it is for me to sit here by myself and not say anything, not be expressing myself.
She can only call me so many times.
Yeah. that's another thing, like I'm talking about with mediumship, and I'm talking about learning as much as you can about mental health too, because that's also going to help you with your readings, and it's going to help you with yourself. If you are doing a very hard reading for somebody and it's affecting you mentally, you need to have that in check for yourself so that whoever you're reading for can have like a good reading. You know what I mean? Like if you're falling apart and they're looking at you like, what the heck? Because you're experiencing that traumatic event as if it was you, because that's what we do. Sometimes we experience a traumatic event, which has totally happened to me a lot with my son. You have to be able to grasp that and get your mind straight first before you can be helping other people, plain and simple.
Right.
Talking about mental health, I have never, we're not going to talk about too many details about it, but I have never been so depressed in my life. This has been the worst absolute experience I have ever had in my life. And I'm not someone who is ashamed to say I'm depressed or I have anxiety about something. Like, I'm a very open book person about that stuff. It's very good to be mindful about that stuff. But I have never in my life felt this amount of depression ever. And that sucks. It really does. But when you're a mother of a child that's still around, you do what you can, guys. You make sure that child sees life just keeps going, you know. So I'm here. I'm pushing through it. We're going back to work, going back to school, and we're going to keep moving forward. And that's the plan. That there is no other plan. There is no shutting down, sitting at home, and doing nothing. That's not an option. I'm not that type of person, and I'm not going to be that type of person.
Yeah, and so, I think you have enough support system around you that they'll definitely keep you from doing that.
Yeah.
Like between me and Sean and your sister,
I am overwhelmed with the amount of love and support I've gotten from people. Yeah. I have people on a personal level. I have people that have come out from years past that are checking in on me, making sure I'm hey, making sure, you know, it sucks that it takes something like this to have a village come in for you and help you. It really does. Like, but this is when I need them. I'm usually a strong, independent person. I don't need nobody. I don't need no man, right, Brad?
Right.
That's what I say. Like, I work, I take care of myself, and I make life happen, and that's how I've always been, and that's what I'm going to keep doing. Aiden would not want me to just stop. He would not. Another issue that I'm battling with, and some of you grieving parents out there will get this, is guilt. I had a hard time. I'm still struggling with it a little bit of doing the littlest things. Eating. I eat. I feel bad because I get to eat and he doesn't.
Right. I know early on after it happened, you sent the messages about feeling guilty.
Like,
and I responded back, and it felt like the way I responded back almost offended you, and I didn't mean it that way. It was just like that, but that's in the moment. That's how it's kind of felt like how you took it, and it was like,
yeah,
you can't. You were like trying to blame. It sounded like you were blaming yourself, and I'm like, you can't do that. It's
right. Oh, I don't blame myself for my son's passing. Like, that's not something I feel guilty about. What I feel guilty about is getting the opportunity to live my life. My son was only 19. He never got to have kids. He never got to have a family. He never got to go more than a year past graduating high school. It's not fair.
Right.
Why do I get to do these things? So I'm going to struggle with that for a while. I'm going to have guilt because I don't want to keep traveling. I'm going to want to keep ghost hunting. I'm going to keep doing things that I love. Like, I sat down to try and play a video game with my sister because we got to get my mind off of things, you know. I can't even play a video game. I feel so bad. My son loved video games. It's not fair. Why do I get to play video games and not my child?
Right.
And that's, you know, that's going to be a huge hurdle for me to get over. But definitely, this has probably been the biggest nightmare anybody. I mean, it's unimaginable. It's just a nightmare that never goes away. So, you know, I'm hoping that eventually, you know, things get better, and they will get better. You know, it's just getting through these hurdles and moving forward. Thank you, Linda. I know, Linda, if I need anything, you're just a message away is another thing that everybody keeps saying to me. And my answer to almost everybody when they ask me, what do you need? I'm like, I don't know, because the one thing I need, I can't have. You know, nobody can bring my son back. That's not an option. So when you ask me what I need, I just don't know. I don't know what I need at this point. And that's just how it's going to be for a while, you know. So, but my way of coping is just talking about it, you know, continuously, you know, and eventually, you know, I talked to Brad. I said, I'm a huge fan of mental health counseling. I said, there's a good possibility I'll do some grief counseling, all that fun stuff, because it is a big loss. It's my son. My son has been my adulthood. I had him when I was 18 years old. He has been my adulthood.
Right.
And this is the first time I have to face adulthood without him. And it's weird. So, you know, we'll get through it. I'll get through it, you know, and if I ever go silent, like on social media or something, just check on me. That's all I ask.
Check with her paranormal secretary.
Check with my paranormal secretary. Brad, if anybody knows anything that's going on in my life, Brad's going to be the person. So, but yeah. But returning to normal, I am going to attempt to go back to work, guys. We are still going to do the show. I have Para-Unity coming up. I have the kids investigation coming up. I want to get a couple of places booked before the end of the year. I'm going to keep moving forward, and I'm going to keep doing what I love and enjoy, because if I just sit here, I'm just going to hate it. Like, and I don't want that. I don't want to just hate doing nothing and sitting here. And
right. You and I have, and
if I need a vent and Brad's not available, I can contact you.
You know, anytime I ever book a location, you're always invited too. So
I know. Actually, I think we have an investigation this month. August. We have an investigation August and September.
Yeah, I didn't really know if you were still going to come in August. I was okay if you didn't.
Probably.
Okay. I mean, it's my birthday weekend. That's why I scheduled it in, but you're still more than welcome to. And like I said, you're still more than welcome to bring Aurora too.
I know.
So.
Yeah, I probably will.
Okay.
Because I've got to keep moving forward. So I'm going to tell you guys as a medium, though, because that's the main reason you guys tuned in on here and wanted to know why, you know, mediumship and losing a loved one. What's interesting about that whole concept is, as a medium, I don't feel like my son is gone. I don't. I feel like he is alive and well. I literally still talk to him.
That's good.
I still talk to him all the time. By the way, Scarlett says, where's her invite, Brad?
She can come too. You're more than welcome. It's a Friday night. And it's like 35 minutes from your house.
Yeah, it's not far. But I feel like my son is alive and well. It's kind of weird. It's my son moved out, like I said earlier, for about a year before he moved back home, and it's almost like he moved out again. It's kind of how it feels. And so that's made it easier. It's just he's not going to walk in the door anymore. You know what I mean? And it's just, even though I say that he's like physically not going to walk in the door anymore, he's still going to walk in the door. Like, I can still feel him. I can still.
He's already come back and tattled on his sister.
You're entitled on his sister. Like, and that's one thing I want to reiterate with people when you're indecisive about your religious beliefs and stuff, or you're indecisive about life after death and stuff. Talk to mediums, legit mediums. I feel like I always have to say that. Talk to people who really connect with the deceased, and it's okay to open up that communication with them. It's okay to do that. And it's so much easier for me to talk to my son than anybody ever that I've ever had to connect with.
And I got to actually meet Aiden. I had spent time with Aiden, so he was a super great kid too. Like he would do anything for anyone pretty much. Is the feeling I always got from him.
Yeah, he was. I couldn't go anywhere today. Even today, I went somewhere and somebody either knows me or knows my son, no matter what.
Yep.
And as soon as the news got out, so many people were like, "Oh my gosh, I know Aiden. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this. I'm so sorry." Like, so many people knew him and me, but mostly him. And it's like, damn, kid, did you not know it?
And like I messaged you earlier today,
did you not know a stranger?
And like when I messaged you earlier today about this,
always be around.
It was like it's the perks and curse of living in a small town.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And it's it's fine. Like, it's okay. I mean, it did kind of suck because it did make me cry today, and I'm like, this is why I'm not doing my own grocery shop. Like, if I go to the store, I tried to go into the store like, I don't know, a week ago. Not even that. Like, all I needed to do was go get toilet paper, okay? I'm like, I just need to go get toilet paper. And when people know who you are in the community, not just for my paranormal stuff, but because of where I live, I'm like, somebody's going to see me, and they're gonna be like, "Oh my God, that's Clarissa. Oh my God, is she okay?" Like, I'm like, I just want to go get some damn toilet paper in peace. I don't want to cry. None of that. Like, I had today when I went to my appointment, I had an appointment today, and the lady like knew about this, but she didn't say anything. She waited, and she's like, "Oh, it's a really pretty necklace." And this is my necklace that has my son in it. It's the Tree of Life. It's purple, and it has a hue of blue. Purple is amethyst for me, and a hue of blue is aquamarine for my son. He's born in March. And I was like, "Oh, thanks." And I was like, because I knew I could feel it. It's the medium side. It's the psychic, like, it's the sensitive side. I'm like, it's my son. And she's like, "Oh, I didn't want to say anything." I knew it. I knew what she was trying to get at.
At least she did it tactfully.
So that's why I was like, "It's my son." But I couldn't tell what she was trying to get at. She was waiting for me to say something.
But at least she didn't like jump on it and just be like, "Oh." She had enough sense about it to come at it in a way that was somewhat appropriate.
Right. Yeah. Scarlett, a lot of people ask you, do they ask you about me? Or do they ask you about me now more? Or is that just like they always do? Because I've been kind of sneaky the past several years in hiding from the locals. But like, seriously, I've been really sneaky, like hiding from local people I know. Now more, yeah. But since this came out and I've been publicly sharing it, people are finding me. I'm like, damn it. Yeah, I'm still around. But it's okay. It's okay. You know, now I can have a nice little blend of my paranormal and personal life, I guess. Yes. So, it's all right. But yeah. So, it's been hard, guys, but you know, I'm going to get through this. Just check on me every once in a while if I go silent.
Yep, I check on her every day.
But I think
just
I'll be
to make
okay.
sure.
Brad knows. So yeah, but I'm definitely gonna keep. I mean, this is just more confirmation that mediumship is for me, and this is just like it's okay, Amanda. Thank you, appreciate it for the love and hugs. There's no it's just more confirmation. Yes, I have my neighbors spewing Bible verses at me like I need to get right with God and stuff, but it's just more confirmation that the universe, that the spirit world, like nature, natural belief system is what gives me most comfort. And that's really what religion is for most people. It's comfort. It's comfort that they have somewhere to go after death, because so many people are like, what happens after death? They're scared. They don't want to do wrong. They want to go someplace good, happy, whatever. And I just got more confirmation that I'm already on the right track. To read a note, tell my neighbor to read a note enough. Yeah. So I'm going to stay on my path of mediumship. I'm going to keep connecting with the universe. I'm going to keep connecting with Mother Nature, because that's where it's at. Okay. Love you too, sister.
See you, Scarlett.
She's leaving. She has to go to work early.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Do you really extra early?
No, but I always go to work I always leave the house at 4:30 or 4:25, so.
Tell my neighbor to read Enoch in the Old Bible. I don't know what that is. See, I've never read the Bible. I actually have a Bible because I was going to read it because I'm open-minded. But
I live next door to a church. Is that close enough?
Aw, thanks, Amanda. Enoch. Oh, I'm saying it wrong.
Enoch.
It's not Enoch.
Yeah.
It's Enoch. I'm sorry. See, the English language is dumb, okay? I hate our language. See, to me, Enoche is Enoche, but it's not. It's like Jeremy says, Enoch. So I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. All right, guys. So that's the update. That's where we're at. We're going to continue with our spiritual ways. We're going to continue with our mediumship, and we're going to continue with our show in 2 weeks.
Yes.
So, Brad, do you have any comments?
And we've already got our first guests booked, and they will be on in 3 weeks.
Yes. We do have guests booked for the 21st. If you're interested in being on the show, we will be doing interviews. And guys, the interviews are strictly about you, because the show is not about us. It's about you. And so we definitely want you guys on the show so we can ask the questions. We can get to know you. You can share your stuff. You can promote yourself.
Because we were actually supposed to be on their show.
That's why we do it, what we do. So
our first guest, we were supposed to be on their show, and then the wreck happened. So
last Monday, or this Monday, 2 days ago, we were going to be on their show.
Yeah.
I was not ready. So, all right, guys. Well, with that said, we will see you all in the next one. See y'all in 2 weeks.
Yep.
And if you'd like to be on the show, hit us up and we'll get you added. All right?
For sure. Thanks,
Good night,
everyone.
everybody. Bye.